Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button. If you want to get notifications for when we go live, tap the bell. We're here 30 minutes after market close, pretty much every day. If you're not yet a member of our free options trading group, the link is below. Also, the link to our Discord, which we started a little bit over a week ago. Yesterday, we passed over 900 members in our Facebook trading group and over 200 in the Discord. So if you just joined, welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here with the UVH fam. If you're here right now, say what up. I see FC. We got Greg, Jeff, Dorian, Billy, Alex. How's everyone doing? What's going on? Hope you guys had a good day, good week. You know, it was a short week. It was a challenging week, but it was also kind of a relaxing week as well. You know, this kind of weeks like this towards the end of the year, honestly, wasn't taken that seriously. Definitely had way more serious weeks in terms of my in the history of my trading career and trading in the stock market. There's definitely been way more serious weeks, and obviously this I'm not trying to make any excuses. This week, honestly, for me personally, was just it was just a tough one personally. You know, we lost a member of our family, passed away over Christmas, and you know we have the funeral tomorrow, and I really just wasn't really feeling very aggressive this week. I only traded Wednesday and Thursday, and today I didn't really do anything except for hedge my Facebook position, but my Facebook position was a hedge. So, you know, this week for me in terms of trading wasn't like, I guess you could say trading wasn't at the top of my list this week. But I mean, we still did good. We came out small green, you know, across my accounts. I'm up like $200 for the week, which is not bad. But a typical week, you know, for me is probably about 1,000 to 2,000 a week profit. And we really just kind of fluctuate around there. So $200 a week is definitely underperforming. Yes, we had a short week, but in terms of the amount of trades we did pretty well. But I didn't actually put on a whole lot of trades this week. So, I mean, for the amount of trades we put on, we did pretty well. You know, only trading 2 days, you know, not terrible. Green week, green one, not a green year, FC. Oliver, how'd that end of day, head and shoulders treat everyone? I didn't have too many positions on. I pretty much cleared the trades I cared about yesterday. Tobin, nice, green week. If you made money this week, comment got paid. If you lost money this week, comment learned a lesson. Dorian got paid and learned a lesson. Oh, that's good. Ahmed, Oliver, Alex, Billy, appreciate you. Thank you. It was a good day to take profits. Crypto Slice, how you doing? Wally, appreciate it. For the first time ever, I'll go through my trades. I'm also going to go through, you know, my profits for the week as well. Just kind of give you some numbers. Know that I'm not lying to you. You know, there's a lot of people that think that, you know, when I post losses, they're not really losses. When I post gains, they're not really gains. So, right here we're an open book. You believe what you want to believe, and we'll just keep grinding. John, 1,008 for the week. Nice. FC got paid. Nice. But today we have a crazy stream, something that we haven't done before. We're going to have a live call with a member of our UVH fam. He's in our chat right now, FC. I'm going to call him up in a little bit. We're gonna kind of hear basically what I want to add to the channel here is maybe some other perspectives. Maybe you're tired of listening to me. Maybe you want to have someone else's perspective. You know, from a newer trader and a trader that has been going from red to green, green to red, or you know, whatever the case is. They're just in a different period in their trading career. But anyways, so what I want to do, I'm gonna go over my trades here. So today it's saying on each account I'm down 219. We did give up some gains, mostly Amazon and Facebook, which I'll get into here. It says I'm down 140 on the day, which is true because I was profitable on this, but the most I could have lost is 125 on Facebook. So we'll go to my orders here. We'll go to yesterday. Okay, so Facebook I paid 119, so I'm max loss on that, 119 max loss, and Amazon today $60 max loss, and which is here $60. My Facebook trade was a bearish hedge against. If you watched the stream yesterday, Facebook was a bearish hedge against Microsoft and IBM. Microsoft, IBM, they worked out, so I took profits from that, and I left Facebook because it was coming up to profitability. I probably should have took it up on these spikes when it was break even instead of taking max loss, but honestly, I don't know what to tell you guys. Just really wasn't. I guess you could say I just really wasn't on it. Just really wasn't on it. I could have got out today for break even. I didn't, let it ride. And honestly, I was green even without the trade. And I think that I wrote it the trade off mainly because it was a hedge, and I wanted, I was allowing it to go to zero in my initial plan. But that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it right, Samuel. I didn't. That doesn't make it right that you should waste capital like that. Just because Facebook was a hedge against Microsoft and IBM and I could have let it go to zero, it doesn't make it right that I did let it go to zero. I probably should have took it off. I had two chances to take it off. At open, I had a chance to take it off, and then later this afternoon I had a chance to take it off for break even, and I didn't. And as you can see, when you don't do that, when you don't stick to the rules, and this week I would say I was a little bit sloppy with my trading, and as you can see, like my P&L reflects that. We didn't trade dangerously, we didn't trade aggressively, but we didn't conserve capital. And one of the things that I'm definitely big on is conserving your capital, and we just let $120 just drift away, and this is what it looks like when you don't stay disciplined, and especially when you take things into Expiration Friday. But to give you some context here on my trades here, per account, but this is just going to be on TD Ameritrade. So this doesn't count today, even though it says it counts today. So pretty much Monday through Thursday, because those trades have closed. It's not counting. So I was up $225 before that. So I was up on the week about $800, $800 to $900 on the week, and I'm closing out the week up only $200 across my accounts, right? So my gain for the week was $225, but you're going to have to subtract the $120 I lost on Facebook. So 225, let's just do some math here. 225 minus 120 is 105, and then minus that $60 loss on Amazon. So per account, I'm up $45. So 225 minus the max loss on Facebook, which was 120, and then minus the $60 loss on Amazon, which brings us to $45 per account per the week. So I'm up, okay, not $200, I'm up 180. So I'm still green on the week, but it doesn't feel great. And some of the things I did this week, I definitely didn't want people to follow me, because I'm not this week. This week I'm not trading at my best, guys, and I definitely apologize for that. But it's just what it is. Some weeks, you guys probably know this. Some weeks you're on it, you're hitting your targets, you're really into that. But this week, I would say my judgment was a bit clouded, and I did break some rules, and we paid for that. Matthew, what's going on? One interesting trade one interesting trade we did, there was a lot of things I was going to do this week, but I ended up, there was a lot of things I was going to do today. I was supposed to record some content for UVH. I was supposed to do all this stuff. And really, all day, I just chilled and hung out with the UVH fam in the Discord chat, which was fine, but I didn't, I just wasn't feeling 100, But one of the things I called out this morning on Amazon, interesting trade. I just want to show it to you guys right now. We did not trade it, but we called out this morning in the Discord. We were just kind of hanging out, chatting a little bit, and as Amazon was recovering, as it was about 1470, I called out. I said, "Hey, right now we're thinking about watch the 1500 calls on Amazon. I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon closed at 1520 or so." And Amazon did hit 1513. It didn't close anywhere near. It didn't close anywhere near 1520. I mean, it did hit 1513, which was pretty close. I mean, pretty spot on. But just to kind of show you this, so we were all kind of laughing about it today because everyone had this opportunity today, and none of us took it. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you this. And as you can see, it's now worth a penny because it expired out of the money. But this is how crazy option pricing gets. You can go from being up a lot to a penny in minutes. So, this is why we encourage people to trade safe. Also, the reason why we didn't put on it, because I didn't want to break any more rules that I haven't broken this week. But I mean, as you can see here, it went from $15 down to a penny in within 30 minutes. But anyways, what we were looking at was the last 2 days here on the $1,500 call. When we called it out, it was going for about $1.40, so it was right down. It was right down in here. Yesterday, you could have bought the $1,500 call for this week on Amazon for as low as 26 cents, and then at close, it went as high as like $5.80, $5.75. But this morning, the call came all the way down to like $1. I think it was like, let's see here. Yeah, it came down to like 90 cents. When we were talking about it, it was like $1.40, $1.50 range and kind of fluctuating. And since then, it just skyrocketed from like $1.50 all the way up to $5.50. And as you can see, it came back down to like $1 or something, and then skyrocketed up to $14. But this gives you, it's $1.46 when we were talking about. So FC was there. Amazon was $1.46. We called it out in the Discord. And I was just saying it was a speculation play. It was just for fun. I wasn't gonna play it just because I can't be that intense today. I wasn't looking to have a super intense trade, which this would have been perfect trade to put on. Definitely some quick and easy gains. You would have got paid within the hour, and you could have exited. And then it went from a dollar, in the second leg of the day, it went from $1.44 again, all the way up to $14. This was definitely like over 1,000% return. But as you can see, how quick you can lose that. Went from $14 down to a penny, and that's the game. So, if you didn't trade safe and you thought it was going to keep going, and then it came back down to a penny. It went from $14 down to a penny. Just let that sink in. So as quickly as this trade worked out for you, it could go down. You can lose that even quicker. It took all day to get to $14, and it went down to a penny within 45 minutes. So, but yeah, we traded it. We didn't trade it because we didn't want to break any rules, and nobody in the Discord traded. I just called it out because it looked like, hey, Amazon was going to hit 1,500 a day, which it did and beyond, and you would have got paid. But it's a good example. I wanted to point out, I like to look at option pricing and be knowledgeable option pricing, because option pricing, that's where the power is. Knowing if you're getting a good deal, knowing if you're overpaying, knowing what's going on with option pricing. So, that's why I look pretty deep into this. And this was just one of the trades I looked at today. I mean, I look at option pricing all day long. I look at different trades. I look at different strikes. I look at different things. But this one was just very interesting. in the terms of the way it worked out, especially like on an expiration Friday. And as you can see now, it's down. Yesterday at close, it was worth $3.99 or $4, and it closed today on the day for a 99.75% loss. So this is a good example that if you don't take your profits off the table. Also, if you don't take your profits, you don't stay disciplined. Like I had a video yesterday about not taking your profits. Not taking your profits is poison or toxic or whatever the case is. This is what happens. This is what happens. You go from $14 down to a penny. So it's a good example. I'm gonna give FC a call right now. We're gonna get him in the stream here. So hold on. Let's get him. Let's get him on the phone and get this party popping. Happy Friday, everyone. We made it. We made it through. Just making sure I have the right number. Let me know if you guys can hear okay.
Nick, what's up?
SC, it's Nick. How's it going?
What's going on, man?
Everyone, let me know if you guys can hear this. Okay, let me know if this is a good volume for you, if I need to make some adjustments.
So what's going on, guys? Can you guys hear me?
So he's chilling in the green room having cocktails. Yeah, he's getting the finishing touches of his makeup going.
No, it's right. No, it's nice. Today was the perfect day for this actually because I'm working from home. So
nice.
This is ideal.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, one of the things that we brought up a while ago or a few months ago was having people call in and kind of trying to offer a different experience of where they're at. You guys see me every day so you guys have a pretty good feeling of where I'm at, what I go through, and if you just want to share your story of when did you begin trading, what was it like, what did you have to go through, and kind of where you're at now. I think that's what people want to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, predominantly with options because that's what everybody here is focused on. I started that this year, actually, back in March, because I had taken a course in college, finance, and we had a futures and options class. So I was like, well, I've always known about this. I've been trading stocks since I was 14, but I never delved into options because I know how much it magnifies. Pretty much everything you do, whether it's positive or negative. So I never really delved into options because of that reason, and because of the volatility, of course. But now, being at this point, I felt like it was time, and definitely a lot to learn. So but basically, what I'm going to talk about is if you're winning, like this is good to hear. Keep things relative. I hope you keep doing what you're doing, or keep winning for the people that are. For the people that have incurred, some losses, this is going to probably hit home with them better. But pretty much just, to give you guys an idea of some numbers, I was down 30%, 31% actually overall. And, and actually I didn't start winning right away after joining.
For the year?
Yeah, for the year, yeah, and just yeah, exactly. Just like for the Robinhood account that I had opened, I was down 30% and 31, and it's not like I joined UVH and immediately started winning, right? So like I think I was down like about 19% or so at that time, and that's when I really started, constricting losses even more and tightening everything up. As you say, of course, yes, that limits gains as well, but that's when I really started to kind of stop the bleed, and then I went another 10%, and then I was able to actually start chipping away at that. And of course, right now I'm looking at it, I'm down, I'm still down 23.4%, but you can't climb the mountain if it's smooth, and these things, of course, like back to that Facebook play, that 132 put, of course I wanted to make back all my losses just on that play, but that's not realistic. That's just like looking at the chart of my account, like that's not realistic, just to bounce back from the pit all the way back up to positive. And yes, that could have happened, theoretically, if I had ridden out that put, but it's like, that's why I love us versus herd, because it's a constant reminder that just that you got to stay disciplined. You got to do what you got to do, and everyone's going through it. We're all going through the same pains of leaving profits on the table, or whatever it might be. But we're all facing the same adversities, and you really have to you got to push through them for the people that aren't green right now overall. If you're green overall, like I said, awesome. Keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, kind of what was the turning point? So let's say, you were obviously kind of like losing, kind of like, what was the turning point where you started posting, small wins, but very consistent wins through your account? So, as you guys know, what we do here isn't about placing, I just showed you an Amazon trade where we could have made 1,000% today. But that's never the goal. The goal is small, consistent returns. We do leave profits on the table every single day, every single trade, and especially in this market, it hurts. Is once it rips past your strike like unreasonably, your $100 profits start to look like nothing. But what was the turning point where you started really getting consistent returns, where you maybe won like 3 in a row and lost 1, or won 5 in a row and lost 1, when you used to lose 5 in a row and then win 1?
Exactly. No, that's exactly it. And I mean, it's the same thing. It's like funny how Sakara yesterday was saying, just think of making 50 twice, or 25 4 times. That's really that's really some sauce. Like that's really like tangible. I mean, these little AMD or JD $25, $50 gainers. I mean, they're not necessarily the most fun trades, but they are consistent. They are consistent, and even on SPY, just grabbing a $50 profit is fine. That's fine, and I'm learning to accept. Like, it's cool to just let the money, leave the money on the table. But to directly answer, it was, so basically what October messed me up bad, and then I came across you, and I was like, yeah, man, like this guy's totally right. Like I need to adapt. I need to adapt with the market conditions, but I didn't. It's not like, even though that clicked in my head, I still incurred some losses. Like, I didn't just immediately flip to green. I still had to actually. I still had to actually adapt. They always say saying is easier than doing, right? So I was like saying I need to adapt, but then I actually had to adapt and change what I was doing to start slowly incurring the green. And and a part of it is having confidence that I can always find another winning trade, right? I mean, it's I don't like feel like any sort of like dependency or anything. I can just scan. I can scan charts. Scan how, price action, how things are moving, and I can really find some tangible moves, some profitable moves, and continue to.
Sure. So, like, besides like adapting the market, would you say, in terms of changing your strategy, I mean, option pricing, if you were to name like one thing that really kind of changed the game for you, what was it?
Honestly, just taking profits, man. I have a little. It's just longer expirations for sure. Longer expirations is one. Just taking those damn profits is 2.
Yeah.
And repeat. Literally, just those 2.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, those were huge. Those were huge. But I mean, something I noticed that you do definitely is the value, right? So that's something I picked up on. And you and I have been talking about probably since my joining point is really finding the value in these options, and I know you even look into the math behind it. I know some other folks in UV definitely look at the math. Sakara gets looking. He's a mathematician. He's a math major. He's definitely looking at the math behind a lot of these things, and it is work, right? That's what the bottom line of this is. Really, if you just deconstruct everything we're talking about right now, it's work. You have to put in that sweat equity, and you can find. You can find value. You can find winning trades consistently, repetitively. You don't need any. You don't need to. You don't need stock updates from Tasty Work or with people that post their trade. Like, none of that. None of that. Even there's even like everybody finds their craft, right? Like you don't even need necessarily all the same indicators as everybody. For the people that watch us later and on this. Like everyone's different. Everybody uses different indicators and methods, techniques. Nick's just happened to be kind of the same that I use, and logical, financial fundamentals and technicals. From that standpoint. So I think that's why he and I agree on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the one of the rules, I mean, like taking profits, redeploying capital was the one of the main things I did, which I broke today when I didn't take profits from Facebook. And as you can see, I'm not able to, as you all can see, I'm not able to redeploy that capital now because it went from break even or even a winning trade at open to a full loser. We got some questions here. Oliver wants to know, how does Nick compare to Jason Bond? Come on.
Yeah, Jason, that's a guy who just lost like how many thousands of dollars?
Yeah, like 160K or something.
Jesus, he just lost.
Yeah, and I haven't seen him advertise on my videos in a while. He's probably cut his budget.
There goes one stream of.
Yeah, if you guys have questions for FC. Definitely would leave a comment if you guys have questions from kind of getting a different perspective here on trading. A lot of you guys know that especially the regulars have been watching for a long time know my stance on a lot of stuff. Let's see here. Clint says October messed me up as well. It's not the only one. How long, FC, how long do you go out? How long out do you go?
So I don't, I will occasionally, and actually this is funny because Nick and I were just talking about how I do have some, decent amount of experience of same day expiration or like, Theta Thursday, for instance, so like 1 day prior. But, for the most part, I'm not doing anything less than 10, 20, 30, like 30, 15 to 30 days, in my opinion, is a very nice, always be checking out that next monthly. Always keep your eye on that date, that third Friday. Those obviously tend to be a little more liquid. So, definitely keep your eye on those.
And you're referring to buying premium versus shorting it, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, see, I mean, yes, of course, right? Because it's all relative, just like anything with stocks and it's just complete. Yeah, so exactly. Like, if I'm looking to sell premium, that might just be day of or the day before. But Hamed, I live actually right near Cupertino, so I live in the Bay Area. Not in Cupertino though, another city. It's called Sunnyvale.
Oh, so you don't get the tax advantages Apple does then?
I guess not. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm just in this random city right next to Apple.
Do you have any preferred strategies, or you just kind of go naked?
No. I mean, I do always you can. I mean, it's the same. Technically, you might not get the same pricing if you go naked and then add a call or add a put or I do firmly believe in putting a strangle on together and then taking them off together. I do believe in that. I coincide with you on that belief. However, I'd be a liar if I said I didn't put on positions all the time and then just 10, 15 minutes later turn it into a strangle or even rarely ever a straddle. But those there's a good straddle play the other day. I think was on AMD. So I mean, there's a few good straddle plays. We just that perfect even strike. It just makes sense.
For me, the straddle is a lot harder to master unless the pricing of the option is extremely underpriced, and mainly because if we stay in the expected move, whether bearish or bullish, you're going to get screwed, and the option seller is going to take your money. So for me, that's why I tend to lean more towards a bullish skewed strangle or a bearish skewed strangle. One thing is cheaper, but also if you lean one direction, you're gonna get a lot cheaper options. But kind of like how on Facebook yesterday, I had the 128. Well, today it expired, but I had the 128 put, and it was touching, Facebook was touching 130, and I had the 135 call for protection, and as you can see, that protection protected me. I just didn't trigger that. That protection triggered me. It went the other direction. However, I wouldn't have gotten paid if it did go below 130, 128. I would have made some decent money. But what I should have done was, use that protection in place that I put there originally and took the trade off versus just letting it expire worthless. Was just like, I don't know why I did that, but it's just like,
no, correct. I mean, absolutely right. And there's a hidden discipline, not even hidden. I mean, there's a discipline right there in that of just your method is to put on and remove. So yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Like next time I'm sure you will. If this or when this opportunity arises again,
staying disciplined for so long, and then you break some rules, and it's bound to happen.
Exactly.
How many trades do you make in a day? Samuel wants to know.
Well, actually, today what's funny is I didn't take on or put, I didn't take anything off or put anything on, but typically I'm a 3 to 5, anywhere from 1 to 5 per day.
1 to 5. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to get too crazy.
What kind of risk are you shooting for? Like for me personally, I'm looking at $1 to $2 range per trade.
Yes.
What kind of risk are you talking about when you do 5 trades per day? What's your risk?
I really actually the $1 to $2 range is really growing on me because that's just that's perfect right there to grab 50% on, or 50% is amazing, 100% is even better. I have shot a lot though in the 25 cent to $1 range though. I've done a lot of options in that $25 to $100 range.
Yeah, so like starting out, you were saying you're like under like $50. You would say was your cap,
yeah, for
and
sure.
then
a lot of GEs, a lot of JD, a lot of Square Plays, Twitter, all that good stuff. MU.
Yeah, the one thing that I talk about with a lot of people that message us over the last couple days, especially when there's extreme volatility like this, what happens is people go from winning big to losing 90% of their account, 80% of their account, or whatever the case is. Which like we're living in very dangerous times right now. We can make a lot of money, but also know that there's a lot of people out there right now losing full accounts, blowing their accounts up left and right, and it's just ridiculous. They go from winning big, they put their whole account on the line because they just won big, and then they lose it all. And what I've been telling people is you got to really limit those losses, kind of just like the stock market. As the S&Ps go lower, the Dow goes lower, we need bigger percentage moves to get back to where we were. Like if your account's $500 and you lose $250, it's gonna be really hard to come back to $500 after losing 50% of your account. Versus when you have $500, you can easily make another $250. It's as your account gets smaller, it starts getting a lot harder to make back those gains. And as you were down like 30%, like 30% of your account, how did you kind of get out of that hole? Did you just try to do like really small trades, or did you kind of go like bigger and try to get yourself out of the hole, or how did that look?
No. See, that's why I feel like I'm so disciplined, is for that exact reason. Is because I'm like like I said, I really started to constrict it, the bleed at about 19%. I would say 19 once I saw that 2.0. I was like, oh hell no! And I really started.
Well, at least you were smart enough to cut it off there, because there's people, maybe even people watching the stream right now. It's not funny because they're down 80%, 90%, 95% even, and the only way to get back up is to refund. You put money back in there, and but that's not necessarily the best idea. But so what was kind of some of the trades that you put on to get you out of that 30% hole or 20% hole?
So like I said, I really started to constrain, but that constraint, and that wasn't good enough. Like I said, I still bled another technically 11% from the point of even harder constriction. And then what the turnaround moment really was I was just like, 100% profit is way more than enough. Like I'm like, when I was investing stocks, like 10% is an awesome year. So So what's wrong with having 25 to 50%? Like really lowering those targets. Like targets are a crazy thing. Targets are really a crazy part of this whole thing. Like with expectations and targets and anticipation and what can you get? Like over the Crypto Slice was asking, what's my go-to indicator? A lot, honestly, a lot. A lot of indicate. I'm looking Crypto Slice for a lot of indicators pointing in the direction of value. So just looking at definitely looking at checking out that option chain, checking out a lot of time in there. Screen time is huge. Looking at these the charts of the actual option Crypto Slice, the actual chart, like seeing.
So are you using like support and resistance, or are you using like are you using RSI? Are you using like a simple moving average, 200-day moving average, stuff like that?
The craziest thing I'll do, Nick and guys, is look at the moving average for like 10, 50-day, and 200-day. That's the craziest. That's the craziest thing I'll do. But other than that, it's support and resistance and just like price action. Like what's the price at? What was the price at recently? Like I do look at 52-week lows. Obviously, I look at 52-week highs.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I find is the chart could be set up perfect. Indicators could be perfect, support resistance could be perfect, and then you go look at the pricing, and like if people don't understand the pricing, they go in, put the trade on, and then they automatically lose. And then the one thing that you have to really focus on is that everything could be lined up, and then you go to make the trade, you say, okay, and the options are outpricing what your trade idea is an easy way to just instantly lose those gains. I don't know if you've encountered that as well. But it's kind of like everything's brewed up perfectly. You're stepping up to the plate, ready to hit the home run. Everything's perfect. There's no wind.
Right.
Then you get on there and the dude throws the craziest ball towards you and you don't hit it. It's like because of the option pricing. So you really need like everything to come together. Also, how would you say in terms of when you first started out, your emotions, your discipline in terms of that, how are you now compared to, let's say, 6-7 months ago, whenever you first started trading?
Right. So, what's crazy, Nick, is I actually started winning, right? So I didn't actually lose right away. But
it's probably worse.
It is kind of worse, but at the same time, like, the winning, like, I guess what that did was really, I just thought that's how it's supposed to be. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna slow grind. This account's just gonna slow grind its way up. But then October happened, and now I'd say where my discipline is at is just not being complacent, not just thinking you have to work. You can't just keep, like you were saying, like I'm definitely one of those victims who is just doing the same thing. And and then it stopped working, and I was like, all right, well, but then of course, obviously, but like to be completely honest, like then things started to get ugly though, when like you're shorting on a green day, right? But the overall trend is down. Like October was a red month, but obviously there had to be green days, right? Same thing.
Sure.
I mean, there had to be some green days. So it just really sucks when you're also wrong on those days, and then you're just like, all right, like now I can't catch a break. Like I'm getting slammed when the market goes down, and I'm also, and then on the days it goes up, I'm missing on those days as well.
So I guess what has helped you kind of control those emotions? Because obviously everyone knows, unless you're new here, one of the things that I talk about pretty much every stream is your emotions, greed, anger, fear, all those things. How are you able to cap those emotions?
Well, really, UVH, right? Because talking about it, and having you guys and being able to relate.
So for you, talking about it's more therapeutic than anything else is.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Just because, exactly. Just purely because, it's just like a reminder, like, you're not alone in this. Like, other people are facing it too. It is overcomable. You just have to. I just got to keep working. Like I can't stop.
Yeah, Crip just lost my entire account because I revenge traded on options past 2 months. Was doing so well when I first started. Man, sorry. Oh, I think you did comment. You went from 2K to 11K, and now you're down the entire account. So I don't know if you picked up on Crip. I don't know if you were here at the beginning of this chat, but we definitely touched on a lot of that. My problem is work so busy I can't stop checking my account. FC, I know that you do have a day job. How do you trade with the job?
Yeah, so no, I do. I work at AMAT, so it's actually we have stock as well. No good for options,
So,
but I am able to place some trades from the mobile device. Got Tastyworks Mobile, got Robinhood. Definitely not enough information from Robinhood for sure. So that's not cutting it. But if I want to, well, not if, but
I guess how do you trade? Like you say you put on like 4 to 5 trades a day. How do you trade that with like being at a full-time job? I guess the question is.
Right. So I mean, yeah, no, like there are times when the work kind of piles up a bit because I'll be looking at the market for a little too long or something. But
so you're saying you neglect the work.
I'm diligent. Though. I knock it out. I work in operations. So.
Sure.
I am pretty much to myself most of the time, but I'm interacting a lot with people on business Skype and on and through email and there's meetings, of course, but you just you work around. Exactly, Hamid's right, and the market opens 6:30. That helps a lot. Got work at 9, so that's a beauty right there.
Are you using any like limit orders when you leave the desk? They're not really just let it ride. Are you set limit orders for profit, or are you setting limit orders for loss?
Profit only. I've been blessed. I've even caught the top here and there. Like there's even been some trades on like SPY where
triggered by a penny, and you're like, oh god, thank you.
and some poor sap is holding the bag, right? I mean, if I got filled at that point, I mean, someone obviously had to fill that transaction for me, so they're holding that SPY put or call it $2, and I cashed out, and that was the high. Or whatever the case may be. I mean, that doesn't always happen, right? That's ideal.
What I like to think, like people on a couple of my streams, like when I was heavily shorting or adapting to the market, people are like, well, we don't want, you should feel bad that some comments on YouTube were like, you should feel bad that the market's going down, you're shorting and stuff like that. But obviously, I'm just adapting to the market. But as an options trader, we don't really. I mean, I feel bad for people, especially retiring in 2018 or even 2019, that lost a lot of money for the retirement. Like, I don't feel good about that. But, for holding the bag, like when you say you're selling your options, someone's holding the bag, like you have probably a 90% chance that the person holding the bag is an algo for Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, or somebody like that. So it kind of helps you, mentally that you didn't. I mean, you could have sold it to some dude sitting in his mom's basement in Florida for all we know. But it's probably an 80% chance or 90% chance that you actually sold it to a robot that just took it and is hedging it against something else or doing something crazy with it that we have no idea what's going on in their back end, So
that's true.
So when you say like some, I mean, it's true. Like, obviously if you're trading and I'm trading and we have all these people else versus herd plus, millions and millions of options trader over the United States, eventually you're going to have to sell that to somebody that wants it.
It's kind of an old-fashioned way. It's kind of an old.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people that take those positions are like, unfortunately are Robinhood traders because when Robinhood rolled out options to their investors, I thought that was probably the most dangerous thing that they could do. It's great for this channel because a lot of people are finding out a lot about options and then coming here. But the bad news is a lot of those people that are trading options on Robinhood, there were penny stock traders that then turned to option traders that weren't really option traders, and they lost money in penny stocks. And Robinhood says, here, you can leverage your profits here. You can buy one thing, but it really equals 100 things. And they're like, oh, this sounds great. Instead of buying one share, I just buy one contract that equals 100 shares. I never have to touch the shares. But on a daily basis, people message saying, hey, my short put got assigned and I don't know what to do, and I'm margin called and I can't do this. I can't close my trades. Or even worse, I don't know if you were involved in this, but like 2 weeks ago when Robinhood shut down their options trading. And actually, I had people said that in the morning they closed out trades in the morning for profit. Robinhood rolled the system back and gave them those positions back, and which were then at a loss.
That's absurd. Thankfully.
So they did a full system. They did a full system reset. So for people, I know you started out in Robinhood. What do you have to say about what do you have to say about people say like free commissions and it's good to start on? What do you say about what's your opinion on that?
Let me break this down real quick. So it is not free, of course, as you know, but it did. So and to Ahmed's point, Robinhood is a good way to start to some degree because I wasn't trading options prior to that. So Robinhood options rolled out in March or something, March or April. That's when I ultimately started trading options because, like I said, I've always known about this product. However, due to the magnification of what options do, I always stayed away. So this concept of free, no commissions, I was like, yeah, all right, sign me up. I'll start trading options. Like I've taken, I've known about this. I've been trading for years. And I've been taking a course on this. Like, let's see what this is about. There's no commissions. However, I quickly learned there are in fact commissions, and holding stock along the way, burned me as well because I'm holding these stocks, and I'm learning options. And in my opinion, I don't really think 6 months. I only had not even like say April, May, June, July. Yeah, I had maybe 6 months, of time before October hit, and then I'm just like, I need to constrain these losses because and when I'm talking about the minus 31%, that is Robinhood. So that's that's when I'm saying I see the chart because I know obviously TastyWorks doesn't have a chart for the way Robinhood's not as visual, it's not as it's not as entry level. But I'm looking at that chart on Robinhood, and I'm just like, I gotta tighten this. I gotta tighten this up. This is and then I did not hesitate at all to start trading on TastyWorks to hedge those losses and really start gaining the information I need to make more informed decisions. So for the people that are on Robinhood, just realize that yes, they don't actually charge you fees. They say it's commission free, but you're getting gypped on info, and information is kind of everything here in this circumstance.
One of the things that I always talk about is you're only as good as the tools that you have. If you have the cheapest tools, you're not going to be the most successful you do. When you go to the store and you're going to buy, you're going to buy a knife, or you're going to buy a vacuum cleaner, you're going to buy anything, there's always varying degrees of what you can buy. Here's the cheapest vacuum cleaner, here's the middle level vacuum cleaner, and here's the boss level vacuum cleaner that's going to do everything you need to do. You go cheap, you get the cheap vacuum, it doesn't vacuum anything up, and then a week later it doesn't turn on anymore. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same thing with Robinhood. You go cheap, and then you realize this thing is broken. They leave a lot of information out. You can't research anything. You don't know what option pricing is on Robinhood. Who needs charts? Thankfully they just gave Robinhood candle charts. You can't adjust that at all.
Nick, there weren't even spreads when I started, man. It was literally just calls and puts, and that did a number on my account.
They should have probably just left it at that, because a lot of people are getting in trouble with spreads and also owning stock that they don't. They're owning stock that they don't have, and then they're like open their account. It's like, why do I owe $35,000? Like
I've seen those screenshots. They're ugly. The negative 30K, negative 14K.
It's like I woke up, I went to bed, and now I owe $35,000. And for a newer trader that doesn't understand how option exercising or assignment works, that's very scary to wake up. Like, where are you going to get 50K from? You don't have.
Right. They don't know that it's still not a complete loss yet, depending on what which way the price go. It's scary. It's scary to somebody who doesn't have that. Like you said, you just said it perfectly.
Yeah. In terms of what you said you were, you took classes in finance or investing, and what kind of made you what made you place your first options trade? What made you get into options trading where this is like, okay, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna buy this contract, I'm gonna see what happens here?
So I have to sadly admit it is Robinhood because, like I said, like
was it their push notification?
It was someone in my class actually. They were like,
okay.
"Yo, like Robinhood rolled out this feature." Well, I'm like, "Oh, Robinhood, like that's the thing everybody's like investing, buying stocks on whatever." And he's just like, yeah, like you can't short on it, you can only buy stocks, but they're introducing options. They just introduced it. You got to like sign up and get to the next level, maybe like a level 2 member or whatever. So I did that, and they approved me, and then and I think my first trade, it was like something like GE. It was a cheap one. It was something like GE or AMD or something. And at first it was working, and I was like, all right, let me buy some stocks too. So I bought all the typical stocks: Square, Apple, Amazon, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
And everything was fine. And I dabbled with it. My account went up and I went up and down. Not nothing crazy. It was super. Not unvolatile, right? Just like ups and downs. And then October came, and next thing you know, I'm just like, yikes! There goes 10% of the account. Then there goes them down 15, and then like I said, until it hit 20, I was just like, whoa! Like pause.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you experienced is what 2017 traders experienced, and you traded after, if you guys see my chart right now, after the February crash, in 2017 we went up, and then we had the February,
Correct.
And then you had a nice bull run, literally from March all the way up to September, early October, and then October we just started experiencing extreme volatility, which we're still in. So, like I say, everyone's a genius in a bull market because you could just buy any stock you want, and hey, I made 100% return on Square. Well, you didn't actually. You don't actually know what you're doing, doesn't? just because you make 100% returns or 200% returns doesn't actually mean you know what you're doing. Like, there's a lot of people that post huge gains in our group, and not to discredit them or anything like that, but they maybe win once out of every 30 times, and it's just, it is what it is. That's why I definitely appreciate your honesty. Here at UVH, I try to keep all in terms of what I do, everything on the table, show you my gains, show you my losses for the day in, day out, so that way, because anybody, as especially if you're first starting out, if anybody, I don't care who you are, you could be a super genius, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose if you say you've never lost before, or you're never going to lose, or that kind of thing. You might as well just close your account now, because it's gonna happen. And when it does, as you experienced when you were going up from in October, you were experiencing some nice gains in October. It just ripped down. S&P's ripped down 200 points. You unfortunately were the victim of that. You had a few months of good winning or solid winning, and then you said, well, maybe I don't have the best positions on anyways, for that,
Right. No, and coming from a finance background, from college and even prior to that, I really respect you and respect you for showing and talking about your losses, because a lot of people just won't. They'll just neglect them as if they're not there, and it's like, well, are you even up, or even more importantly, are you even consistent? Like, do you even like what's the deal? So I really respect you for that. And speaking of course, speaking of losses, or that October drop, just like by the second week, it just like slapped me in the face, and I was like, yo, well, these companies are way overvalued. Like,
yeah,
they have no business being this high. Like, where you know what I mean? Like, what am I doing? Like, it's crazy. Like, money really will blind you. Like, money is really blinding. It's crazy because I'm making money, right? So who am I to disagree when I'm up, right? Like, when I'm up,
yeah. I think we all knew when. I think we all knew we were on the top when we had Trump tweeting Dow 20K, Dow 21K, all time.
Yikes,
like,
don't remind me.
every single day. But the problem is it created so much FOMO. It created so much. There was no value in that now it was just like you got to know when it's the top, when politicians start bragging about the market. And anytime
100%.
you start bragging about the market, you start bragging about your positions, or you start bragging about your gains, even you know that market's gonna come and humble you, and it's gonna be awful. And honestly, for the way that the politicians were bragging about the market, the way that things were. I mean, this is definitely way. It's bad because innocent people are getting hurt, but they kind of deserve what they were bragging about in the end.
Well, I mean, Nick, it's just to further your point of the FOMO, like that I'm guilty of too. When your Lyft driver, your taxi driver, Uber drivers start talking about Amazon and how, do you see what Amazon did today? And then it's like, like I need to reevaluate. Like I need to step back. Like, and this ties all the way back to our golden point, right? Like, yeah, sure, you're gonna leave some money on the table. Like, yeah, you're gonna leave $30, $40, $50 per share. Even $100 per share, $80 per share on the table. Just from stock perspective, not even talking options, but that's okay. That's okay. Look at the price of Amazon now. Like, you're one happy guy if you got out at 1950 on the way up, and it went up to 2030, 2040. It's like, when everyone's talking about it, the FOMO is just so high. You got to step back. It's just crazy.
One thing that I want to touch on that I was kind of curious about. So, everyone knows here that I do post my trades publicly. I do post them in Facebook. I do post them in Discord, and I do go over every trade I do on the channel. After close, like we did when I first started. But I encourage people not to kind of mimic my trades. I just do it just to show you what I'm doing, maybe give you some ideas, but not to like mimic them verbatim. How do your trades differ from my trades, and how do you use the trades that I put out there? Do you use them as a baseline? Do you just see, maybe that's interesting? Or because a lot of times I put trades on, like my Facebook trade was to hedge a position I put on 2 days ago. It wasn't meant to. And then if you only put the Facebook trade on, it may not have been in your best interest to do it. So when I do something, it's always in my portfolio's best interest. It's not necessarily, how does that differ for you? Do you look at my trades? Do you not look at them? Do you trade? I know we traded completely different things. I just wanted to see what you thought about that.
Yeah, no. I mean, you could not be any more spot on. I do look at them, on like for instance on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's probably. I mean, I'm mostly a UVH fam. I will tab down, and look at the other channels. Definitely, Nick's Trades is definitely not my second most viewed channel though by any means. It's not that I don't care. I do care what you're trading, and I do think it's interesting for sure. I just sometimes you're just spending a lot more money than I am. Sometimes that's the case why I don't follow suit. Sometimes you're just spending more than I'm spending that day. Some days I'm spending more than you, believe it or not. There's some days I'm buying more premium than you. Some days, which is rare, very rare, but some within this market lately, especially with like all the strangles, that those have definitely those get pricey, but they're profitable, and you and I, like I know, like another thing, like I picked up trading the packets, like that's something I thought was really interesting too, like packets meaning like IBM and Microsoft, for example, and there's a lot of different instances of that, but for me, like also. I'm content, just like kind of scanning and it's not like where it's like, I don't want to do what Nick's doing, like I want to be different, but it's like part of it kind of is like a pride thing, just like finding new, maybe something you're not even looking at and giving you an idea, or just finding something and just mentioning it to on the Discord and people being like, that go for that, or I like that, or not, or just keeping it original, just pushing it, and I think what I think a big part of it for me is that incentivizes other people to do that, and it's kind of beneficial for everybody, right? I mean, we're kind of a big team, in a way. So
I mean, I definitely encourage everyone to, kind of do their own research. I mean, it's a huge market, as you can see by that Amazon trade, what we're not looking for and what we're ignorant to, there's occurrences like that every single day, and I'm not able to keep up with everything, and neither are you, and we crowdsource that, and we bounce ideas off, a lot of the times in the chat or on Facebook or whatever. But I mean, I definitely think that you have the right approach, because I encourage people that if they can't find their own plays, if they can't find their own trades, like God forbid I get hit by a bus. That's why I don't believe in like stock alerts or option alerts or whatever the case is, like people selling that stuff, is because if they get, they stop doing business or they die or whatever the case is, and you don't know how to trade, then you're going to lose all your money anyway. So might as well in the beginning figure out how to trade for yourself, figure out where to get your own ideas, and figure out what's comfortable. Because like you said, like a lot of traders out there that are big and doing it, they're spending a lot of capital. I think in recent months the most capital I had deployed at one time was about $4,000, which was for me on the heavier side. It did pay out, but it wasn't. Not a lot of people are able to do that. Like the last couple of days, like the last couple of weeks, even the most capital I had deployed was maybe a grand. So, or at one time, So
and that's across 4 accounts.
Yeah. So
okay, it's like 2.5 accounts.
Yeah, so like $250. But in recent days, the reason why I also scaled back my trades is because also on the S&Ps we had like 10 down days in a row. They were just outpricing me. They were just like, right. I couldn't, like, I knew we were going to have an up day eventually, but it was just like 3 red days, 4 red days, 5 red days. And as the red days increase, so does the cost of the options, and also so does the cost of the calls. The calls get more expensive too, because the market's anticipating a bounce back. And then when the bounce back doesn't happen, those calls are getting fried. So we went through two weeks of red days, and 100%, like all those calls got completely killed. So then I started lowering. That's why I've only had like per account $200 per account in, or $300 in. I really have been going really small up until now that we've had a bounce back, and they're making it cheaper. And as you can see, guys, down here, implied volatility is getting crushed a bit. And now VIX is at 28, which is still high, but above when they were pricing it at like 30, it was just ridiculous. I couldn't get a good play in there. And I know for me, for instance, like sometimes not trading will save you, because if you do the trade and overpay, you regret that loss every single time. So sometimes the trade is not to trade, and that's okay. You don't have to go. And that's why I was talking about yesterday. Like some people were saying, well, my goal is to make $100 a day or $50 a day. And I think that's a terrible idea, because you can't mimic the market every day, and you're not going to be trading at 100% in the market. What if the market doesn't move that day? You can't make money if the market doesn't move. So you're going to force yourself into a position, and you're going to actually lose. Instead of making 100, you might lose 200 or 300, and then you're wiped out for the week. It's like.
Right. No, you're 100%. I mean, on point. I mean, it's that's why. And I actually didn't trade today at all. So it's funny that we're doing this today on a day that I didn't even. I just let my Tesla call, do its thing.
Yeah.
And up like $57.
Yeah. But, if you guys are just joining, we got FC on the phone. We're a little bit over an hour on the stream. I don't mind. It's Friday. We can chill. But anything you guys want to ask FC? If you weren't here earlier, you could definitely replay the stream afterwards. We went through a lot of topics. Go ahead, FC. Sorry.
I see crypto slice and strangle still scare me, because 2 naked positions tell me something to make me feel safe doing it. Crypto, you're realistically with a strangle and straddle. Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. You're just betting on the volatility. So I mean, if you're expecting a volatile day and a big move, especially a move bigger than the expected move, 9 out of 10 times that we throwing that strangle on is going to pay you. Yes, of course. If the move is up and you did a call, yes, of course you'd make more on the call. But crypto, that just these small gains, man. You should feel safe doing the strangle. If you're expecting, a pretty big rip in either way. I mean, Nick can attest to this. He was saved today on Facebook by his protection. His protection paid him.
But I was an idiot.
Well, yeah, right. But I mean,
I mean, Yeah, I mean the protections definitely help me out a lot of times, and I would say in the last month or two, the protections I've used probably 40 to 50, like not that high, maybe like I would say 30 to 40% of the time my protections were triggered, and I was like so thankful for that I'm actually, instead of, if you don't have the protections, you can actually close the week red instead of green. It's better to be, like I was saying earlier in Discord, it's better to be break even. You're going to feel a lot better at break even than you are going to be at red.
Totally, yes.
What platform do you recommend trading on? Crypto Crip is somebody else. Crypto Crip.
Oh yes, yeah. If you're on Robinhood right now, oh, okay, see or they are on Robinhood. That's fine, and especially if you have a reason, a particular reason to be on there. Like the reason I'm still on there, for example, is I'm just slowly chipping away at my losses on there. I don't look at it as a primary account. I don't necessarily. I'm going to say Tastyworks, though. I think Tastyworks right now is taking the cake. Thinkorswim has some cool stuff for sure, especially if you get a little bit more advanced. But I mean, Tastyworks is just so clean. It's very easy to use. Come on, dollar. Technically, it's 50 cents. I look at it as 50 cents. Because it's
no closing costs. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, if it makes you feel better, you can look at it 50 cents as well.
The one thing that I would say, like unlike other brokerages like TD Ameritrade and E-Trade, it's not worth it to not close it on Tastyworks. So on E-Trade, Thinkorswim, you save money by not closing trades that let's say there are credit spreads that you don't want to close out because you don't want to save commission, like you want to save commissions. Like on Thinkorswim, they set it up so there's no closing costs, so that way you never feel pressured to not close a trade due to paying commissions. I would say that's a pretty big advantage in terms of mentality. Like a lot of people say, this trade, it's going to cost me commissions if I trade. It's not worth it. But on Tastyworks, they eliminated that. They said we don't want people to feel that way about trading. If you want to close a position, you should be able to freaking close the position. You know what I mean? And not feel bad about it that you're going to pay the brokerage. So they take their money up front, and it's a small fee. It's $1. But the reason why they don't have closing commissions is because of that reason.
And keep the fees in mind. They go towards the help desk. They go towards software update. They go towards a lot of things. It's not bad to pay a fee.
Yeah, I mean you're paying for the one thing that I would say the main difference is in paying the fee is support. So when you're in trouble and you need help, you call Tastyworks, you call Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade, you call E-Trade. Within minutes you get a person, and not only are they knowledgeable about what's going on, but they will actually help you close it out for the best possible price that you're able to get for it. Even if you're screwed on the position and you're going max loss, they will attempt to close it out for as minimal losses as they can. If they can't, they can't. But they try. On Robinhood, you have to email and wait for them to respond, and they may not actually do anything about it, and you may actually have to figure it out yourself, which is
it's a huge sham, and for anybody that is getting into spreads and stuff, I mean, getting assigned, it hasn't happened, thankfully, to me, but you might not get that order filled, and you might get assigned. Even though you tried to close it, you might not get it, especially with Robinhood, right? So I'm gonna just go ahead and say the bottom line on Robinhood for the people inquiring. I see a couple people ask, like D-Vang and stuff about starter. Look at Robinhood. I would say is a secondary tool. It's nice. You can have 3 PTTs there. You can have 3 pattern day trades there. Another 3 on Tastyworks. I'm loving it. That for me, that's sauce right there. I have twice as many as having one account. Probably looking to open another Tastyworks account, and ultimately have like the one E-Trade, the one TD Tastyworks, and then the 2 Tastyworks, and then the one Thinkorswim, one E-Trade, and just eliminate Robinhood with time, because really Robinhood, I mean, and as everybody grows and advances, 6 months from now, anybody who's in this chat right now should have no reason, there should be no viable reason to even be on Robinhood at that point, even as a secondary account. It's just like, why, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And are you thinking about a cash account?
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. So the second Tasty Works account being cash, having one, you know, Thinkorswim account to be keep it real with everybody here, you know, probably for the charts. You know, just keep it funded, keep some money in there. That is also, you know, but then again, like, these are all tools. You know what I mean? Like, then that opens up more day. You know, if you want that, then technically I would have 9-day trades or you know, or 12-day trades or whatever the case might be. And these are all, you know, you can look at all of these as leverage, right? And at the end of the day, like, you know, whatever reason you have for wanting to you know, stay on Robinhood right now, that's fine. But, you know, ultimately, anyone should be able to shift away from that you know, that reason with time. I'm not saying, you know, tomorrow, you know, withdraw, you know, or 3 days from now, withdraw all your money. Or like, do you, you know, as you say, you got to do you. You know, everyone has to do what suits them.
Sure. All right, so we're gonna cut the call off because we're at an hour and 10. You know, if this video is of value to you, hit the like button. Micah, the trading course, I'm working through it. I'm just wanting to make sure that it's good. You know, I'm working through it. I'm hoping in January though. You know, if you guys liked this type of call in, tell experiences, you know, leave a comment here. Let me know what you guys think about this kind of style of video, trying to mix it up here, trying to get some other opinions in here, not necessarily my own. You know, it's Fridays. Friday's usually a good day to wind down, do something like this. You know, it's definitely fun. FC definitely had fun, had a blast talking to you, man. That, you know, a lot of good information here. You know, if you joined late, hit the replay. We definitely got a lot of content in this video. Crypto Slice's call is helpful. Jeff says it's awesome. So yeah, different mixing it up, man. You know, always, you know, FC, thanks for being part of the UVH fam. Everyone here, thanks for being a part of it. Definitely wouldn't be here without all of you guys here. But FC, you take it easy, man.
You too. Happy holidays, everybody. Be safe on New Year's. Enjoy.
Right. All right, guys, hit the like button. First time here, hit subscribe. Hit the links below to be a part of our communities. Hit the links. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Definitely appreciate everyone coming out today, showing support. Show support for our boy FC in the chat. You know, coming through. Clint B. Real Cash Options Trading Course. Appreciate your time. We got you, Clint. Definitely appreciate you guys. So you guys have Happy New Year's. If I don't talk to you, enjoy your weekend. It's always us versus herd.